Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, welcome to another episode of the Fighters Rep podcast. And today I am absolutely excited and delighted to be joined by none other than David Rivera, who's going to be fighting for the Fighters Rep middleweight title on December 3rd at Fighters Rep 16. How you doing, David?
I'm doing great. How about yourself, George?
I'm doing good. Would you mind lowering the music a little bit? If you don't mind, my bad about that, David. I just don't want to get a copyright strike and then they cancel our interview.
How about that?
Perfect.
Okay.
So you're at XFit. You're over there getting some work in, I assume?
Yes, sir. I knew I was gonna be doing this, so I had to get my workout in earlier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I love about this is, you actually told me that you want to be on the show. I've had you on before. We got to talk briefly, but I'm sensing some excitement. I'm sensing some excitement from you. I'm sensing a lot of excitement from the community about your fight against Sugar Bomb Claycomb. Kind of tell me, what's going on through your head.
I've been putting in a lot of work, and that guy I was for the last fight, I'd fuck that dude up now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Elaborate on that for me a little bit.
So I don't know. I guess for the longest, everyone has classified me as a boxer, hands guy. I barely started boxing earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I've been implementing to my game plan.
I see. And is it that classic fight team overlap with raw talent boxing? Of course, you're over there at XFit represented for that too. But I know classic, Tyler Womble's an absolute killer of a coach. And I know he kind of has his guys cross-trained. At least that's my understanding with raw talent boxing to get the hands right. Am I right about that?
Some of us do. The smart ones, I should say. Yeah.
And there's a lot of talent over there, right? I mean, you've got, we've had Ed Hyman, who's a pro, fight for us. He looked incredible in his last fight. I'm actually trying to bring him back in February. We got Tyler Smith out there, who's an absolute dog, coming off a win where I think he broke somebody's leg in the MMA. Right?
He did. Leg kick just smashed that dude's leg.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was awesome at the same time. It was great.
And then, of course, we got the Paez brothers. I mean, TJ Dillashaw comes through there. You got Cody Sessions out there at XFit also, cross-training with him. You got the Gator Granado. I know CJ. I mean, you got a lot of, I would say you have world-class level talent around you, most of the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And don't forget about Jeffrey Craig. He might want to get a fight in February.
The door's been open for Jeff Craig. It's great that you said I actually reached out to him. Unfortunately, he's booked, I think, around that time. He's more of a MMA. I think he's more interested in MMA, but he's interested in kickboxing as well. I've tried to get him on a couple times, but we'll see. If me and him are we keep missing each other, but it'll happen.
Okay.
But right now we need to focus on David Rivera's fight versus Michael Claycomb, man. This is the future. Yes,
sir.
Middleweight titles on the line. The Fighters Rep middleweight titles on the line. It's vacant. Nobody currently holds that title. What does that mean to you to be able to fight for that and potentially bring that home to Classic, to XFit, to San Bernardino?
It's gonna be great bringing the belt home. To be honest, I think in the future it's gonna look super dope because Fighters Rep is growing. I feel like later on it's gonna be something like Glory, if not even bigger than Glory. And yo, I was the first middleweight champ for them.
Yeah. I appreciate that. So you're seeing that. You're seeing that growth, huh?
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about Cody Sessions. Look at him right there.
Oh! Look at the Jesus Christ! That guy's built like a brick shit house. Can you see that guy one more time? Ladies and gentlemen, Cody the Squirrel Sessions at like 0.5% body fat. Look at this guy. 0.5% body
Hey.
fat. Holy shit! Look at this guy. Looks like he looks like a got a Ninja Turtle in his stomach.
That's exactly what he has, a Ninja Turtle in his stomach.
But anyway, man. Anyway, so big fight coming up. Michael Claycomb. I wanted to ask you about Michael, man, because Michael David is unorthodox. He's unorthodox. This is a tough fight. This is a tough fight for both of you. In my opinion.
Okay.
He's unorthodox. He's almost an unknown commodity. You don't know what you're going to get with the guy. I mean, he's very unorthodox. He finished his last fight in 10, I would say 10 or 11 seconds with a spinning back kick to the liver.
That was beautiful.
Before that, we saw him in a war. And before that, he fought your teammate Juan Banda, and was another very exciting fight.
You gotta give him props for that too, because like Juan is not no bitch. He's super durable. Man, he got a dub over him. That's saying something.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, what are you seeing in Michael Claycomb? What are you seeing in your style versus his? I mean, I know you're very confident. I can tell by your face, but what are you seeing?
I see good movement and good distance control, but I personally feel like my distance control is better. My movement's a lot better, and I got power. And a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, how do you think you're going to match up? I mean, because it's basically karate style, man. He's a karate style.
It's 100% karate. He does mix it in a little bit more with boxing, but I don't know. Like I feel like it's one-dimensional punching, and yeah, nothing out of the ordinary for me. Like I've seen similar styles before, and once again, I train with a lot of high-level dudes all the time, everywhere. Yeah, he's gonna get knocked out.
Is there someone that you're working with that can kind of emulate that style?
Yes, a lot of people actually.
I got that beat vitality.
Yeah.
So if y'all want cheat codes, listen to me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My bad.
That's all
Someone was
good.
coming through there. Okay.
It's all good. Well, I was asking you. You said you got a lot of people out there that can emulate Michael. I mean, I know Raymond Daniels involves himself over there at Classic. Have you been able to get any work with him?
Not with Raymond per se. I think he's in Arizona or Texas or some shit. He's also getting ready for a fight too, for karate combat.
Mm-hmm.
So he's out of state. But our team has been working with Raymond Daniels for a very long time, so they know that karate style, and mostly everyone has been in that camp with him. So they just break down that style for me and they emulate it. Mr. Tyler Smith does a really good job at imitating karate guys.
I see. Yeah, big shout out to Tyler. Again, like I said, we'd love to get him back. He always puts on a show. The guy's drawn Connor Bracken both times with us, but I think we'll have something for him come February. 5 rounds. 5 rounds. When's the last time you were in a 5-round fight, David?
Never, actually. Never.
So I mean, how's that? How's the training for that going?
I've been waiting for something like this, to be honest. I don't know if you can tell, but after I'm done with every single fight, I'm just like, oh, that's it. Like, yeah, I do pro rounds every single time.
Yeah. David, you have this relentless confidence. Even in the fights that you've lost, which have been, just a couple that I can think of, you were there to the very end. You were fighting to the very end. At times, you were getting the better of the action.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you, where does this confidence come from, man? It's like nothing phases you, and I think that's a very important attribute for a fighter.
I'm not no bitch, and I am Mexican. We got that inner, I don't know what you can say, that inner raza, yeah, okay, like I got, my last fight that I lost was against Caldwell.
The champ, Joshua Caldwell.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I got dropped. My fault. I shouldn't have done the spinning technique. I don't even do that shit. That was stupid. I was like, let me get this motherfucking round back. And by the end of it, I feel if we had one more round, that would have been my fight. To be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, just okay. Like everyone gets dropped. Everyone
Yeah.
gets hit. I mean, it doesn't shake me.
But yeah, like what's the so you mentioned your Mexican
It's
heritage.
literally a one
You
Hmm.
shot.
know, I know you grew up in San Bernardino. It's not the I know that's not the safest neighborhood to be in. But is it what else is it about the life of David Rivera that's made you so sturdy? I want to say sturdy in the face of adversity. You know. And listen, whether you're winning or losing,
Yeah.
you're having a good time and you're just feeling yourself the whole
Big
time,
facts. Big facts.
kind of let people know what they can do to channel their inner David Rivera. You know what I mean?
So I have a couple goals that I have in mind, which I'm going to reach no matter what.
Yeah,
So regardless of what's happening, I just say, yep, fuck it, and just keep going. That's all. Just
yeah.
keep fucking going.
And what are
Yep.
those goals?
Goals. All right, we're 2022. The next year or so, I'm gonna go pro. I'm an MMA fighter. I've been doing kickboxing.
Yeah,
I'll ride that wave until it's time to transition over back to MMA.
yeah,
What do you think about it?
I for sure see myself fighting at one or the UFC in 2 years. 2 years. Two
yeah.
years. And I'm for sure bringing some belts home.
And if we can pay you more, you think we can keep you here at Fighters Rep?
Keeping my options open.
Hey, you
Keeping
said
my
it.
options open.
You said it might turn into a glory or something better. I think you might be onto something there.
I 100% think that you guys will for sure grow to something bigger than glory.
Thank you, man. I
I mean,
appreciate
I mean,
that.
you guys are the only ones doing them out here.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I appreciate that, man.
I really fuck with fighters yet.
By the way, big shout out to everyone in the chat. We got BBV Lucy. I believe that's your sister. She's in the chat. We got Cheddar323. We got Joseph Claycomb, Michael Claycomb's father and coach.
Hey.
Thank you guys for joining. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Join the channel. It's the only way to watch Fighters Rep live, especially the fights. And, get your tickets at FightersRep.com if you haven't already. It's going down December 3rd. And it's on the line. The first ever Fighters Rep middleweight title is on the line between David Rivera and Michael Claycomb, and it's a fight between two very special young talents. The cream is rising to the top with these two, and we're very excited to see what they're doing. And also, we have an open workout tomorrow at Hardworks Fitness in Long Beach at the Traffic Circle location. Be sure to join us if you can at 2 p.m. Also, follow David right there at the bottom of his screen. He's got his Instagram handle, I guess David, which he just highlighted with his yellow fingernail, which, I admire the confidence of being able to pull that off. I could never pull that off. Um, David,
What's up? Hit me.
what's going to happen in this fight? What's going to happen in this fight with you and Michael Claycomb? What's the prediction? What's
The
the goal?
prediction. Um, I'm not gonna get touched. He's gonna fall down, lose consciousness. I'm gonna get my hand raised, get a belt around my waist. I'm gonna give him a hug because I like Michael. Just once
No.
again, he signed that contract to be my opponent, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's exactly what's gonna happen.
You think he's just not ready for you?
No, so the same thing that happened to Hunter Hackett.
Yeah, yeah,
My plan is to go out there and show that these guys aren't on my level at all.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Michael Claycomb, he's good. He is good. He's just not on my level. Yeah.
I get it. I get it. I get it. Yeah, and what's your team kind of saying about this fight, about this title opportunity for you?
Um, to be honest, it's just another fight. It's another fight. Yes, I'm gonna get a belt, but you know, it's just work. We're working.
And if you win this title, it'll be your first belt in combat sports. Am I
Yes,
right?
sir. It's gonna be my first striking belt, and it's gonna be dope. It's gonna look really nice. think those fighter rep belts look really nice.
I appreciate it, man. And you have, we've discussed this in the past. You did start your career with us, which I appreciate very much. And I love that you trusted me enough to run your career with us, and here we are, fighting for a title a few years later. I know you fought for one in the past in MMA with us as well. That was a fantastic fight as well, by the way. Came up short there, although I thought the decision was a little bit. I thought it was a very close fight. It could have gone either way, I would say. Um, but here we are again in kickboxing now. You mentioned you want to go over to MMA. Do you think you need to take some more amateur MMA bouts before going into MMA, or are you fine just running amateur kickboxing bouts until you make that transition?
I've been trying to get MMA fights, as some amateur MMA fights, but you know how it goes. Um, Culitos, it's
Yeah,
just pull out all the time. Even
yeah,
with the guys over there at Up Next, I had two opponents. Two of them said no.
yeah,
The last one, I think he pulled out like a week out or some dumb shit like that. Oh well, whatever.
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess these amateurs don't want it, so I might just end up going pro.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
That's part of the reason I'm not a huge fan of MMA.
know.
Is man, I remember we had at least three people maybe drop out against you in particular. I just off the top of my head, I remember a few people pulling out against you and against several other people. So I definitely understand that. Um, you know, I feel like I would love to get you more amateur fights, right? Before you turn pro. But like you're saying, a lot of people don't want to fight. They talk the talk, but they don't want to fight. And there just aren't that many opportunities. I look at our sports versus boxing, for instance, right? Where guys go to these tournaments, they get several fights in a weekend and stuff like that. And it hurts. I wish I can get you guys more experience.
Yeah.
And it's something I'm working on. It's something I'm working on. But I wanted to get your opinion on that issue. What do you think about how much less opportunity there is for amateurs in your position to get experience the way like a boxer would before turning pro?
Honestly, it really sucks. Because in all honesty, that's the only reason we have the amateurs, to get our experience. And we're not getting shit. Me, for example, the last 5 years, I've had, I don't know what, 7 fights. The fuck is
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Um, Luckily this year, the first year ever, I get 2 fights in 1 year. I'm going for my third, December 3rd. I'm like, yes, finally, fucking finally, man.
and who did
But
that for you, man? And who did that for
sir,
you?
appreciate you. And you
Yeah,
know
man.
what?
Yeah,
I think that's a great incentive of getting this belt. People want belts,
yeah,
and obviously I'm gonna have that belt around me, so people are gonna want to fight.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like the only reason Michael Claycone accepted a fight against me is to get a belt. You know, other than that, I doubt we'll be fighting.
Well, I here's what I'll say about because David, I'm not going to work with whoever. I'm
Yeah,
just not
yeah,
going to.
big
You
facts.
know, I'll work with guys. Obviously you don't know what you don't know, right? So if a guy signs up, I'll try to make a fight for him if I think they're worthy and professional. But you
Hmm.
know how this game is. A lot of these people end up faking, but those people get cut off with fighters rep. Those people get cut off. So when you're fighting with fighters rep, I mean, you pretty much have to fight. You have to fight, right? You have to fight. If
Hmm.
you're not willing to fight, this is not the place for you. And I will say, I think Michael at this point, especially coming off his last fight, he's brimming with confidence as well. I think he's down to fight whoever, and I think he's showing that he's down to fight
Hmm.
whoever, right? You got to give him credit by stepping up to face you because
For sure, for
you
sure.
are you are definitely one of the more talented, young fighters. point blank period, right? And I want to say Michael's at that level now too, especially after that last performance. So I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying about the belt. I think the belt is just getting you guys more excited. It's more of an incentive to fight. But man, Michael, and I've talked to you about this. In the last year, Michael's had 4 fights with us, just with us. I think it's 4. This will be 5, right? So he's been very active. And I'm just glad I've been able to have both of you guys active like that. In his video, he, I don't know if you saw that segment where he's looking at the camera and he's talking to you. He's saying, "Hey, David, you don't know nothing about me." He says, "It's mine. It's going to be mine." He says he's going to win. Do you have any reply to what he said in that video?
No, not really. He can think whatever he wants, to be honest. That's his right. He's a confident guy too. He's a good fighter, but he's fighting me, and that just sucks for him.
Luz Barron is in the chat. She says, "Vamos duro, David." And Cheddar323 says, "David, if you could choose one anime character to represent you as a fighter, who would it be?"
I'm wearing a Killua sweater right now. I'm pretty sure that's why they asked that. But to be honest, I think it's Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. That's one of my favorite characters. He's not particularly the strongest character, but that guy has no fucking quit in him. And he has a thing called Saiyan Pride. And yeah, he's always working, no matter what. If someone's better than him, guess what? He's in the fucking gym working.
Yeah. And Cheddar heard that and says sheesh, and I like that, David. And I see that. I actually see that in the way that you fight. You know what I mean? I see that never give up attitude, man. It's like I think that would be a benefit to a lot of people if they could have your attitude, right? Because in life sometimes you go through some bullshit and you get real down on yourself. You know what I mean? And you deflate, but for whatever reason, you seem to be able to stay up.
I'm not always up too. Life is life. It drags you fucking down. All you can do is just exhale and say fuck it and keep going. Like, oh well, I can't change shit. Keep going.
So you're not going to be at the open workout tomorrow, is what you're telling me.
I can't be at the open workouts. I'm already going to be calling off before my fight.
Yeah.
So I'll be calling off Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
So you're going to be working. You're going to be working.
Yeah. I mean,
that's life as a fighter, right? That's life as a fighter.
Yes, sir. Work out, train, work out, train, maybe sleep. Yeah.
Well, that's a great segue, though, right? So, ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, if anybody wants to step up and sponsor any of these young fighters, you can reach out to David directly on Instagram. That's his Instagram handle right there, I guess David. Or you can reach out to me and I can facilitate. And, I can help you guys get these guys some support. They all need it. So, definitely give them a follow, show them some support. And when you buy tickets, right, when they buy tickets at FightersRep.com, David, if they put your name at the checkout, the fighter will get credit. Their gym, rather, will get credit. So that's always a good idea. David, man, I mean, I'm go ahead.
Speaking of sponsors, I feel like you should get, or one of your sponsors should sponsor like a fight bonus, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like a performance of the night, knockout of the night. Woo, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome.
For sure. The problem with that is for amateurs, like you can't pay amateurs. But in the gear supplements, you know what I'm saying? Right. No, I mean, I'd be happy to do that. It's just, it's hard. And you've seen, I think as it grows, it'll get easier. I mean, you've seen some of the numbers, I think, that our social media is doing now. It's been, I'll even say I'm impressed with it. I mean, I think there's a video of D'Lo getting that knockout from the last FightersRep.
What
Last
a monster he is.
dude,
Dealer.
last I checked, that video was at almost 500,000 views. 500,000.
Sheesh.
Yeah, yeah. So, I think we're getting to that level, but man, listen, as soon as any of these sponsors want to step up, for sure, I'll try to facilitate something for you guys. BBV Lucy says one thing about David is he's a different breed.
This is true.
He's a different breed. How are you a different breed, David?
I'm just different. By that we mean I'm willing to put in the work. I'm willing to put in the work to no matter what the fuck it is. Like, yo, I gotta wake up at 4 in the morning. All right, cool. What time did I go to sleep? 3? Fuck it. I'm up. We're working.
Yeah,
Always.
yeah. Well, David, I appreciate your time. I mean, I'm so excited about this fight. It's the main event on December 3rd, ladies and gentlemen, at Fighters Rep 16. It's David Rivera, Michael Claycomb. These are two stars, man. These are two stars in the making. And I really think these are two names that people are going to remember for a very long time in combat sports. I could see both of you turning into major stars. I really can. And, I think everybody needs to tune into this fight and watch these two stars go at it. They've got the skills, they've got the looks, they've got the technique. They got it all. They got the swag. And I can't wait to watch this fight, man. David, why should people buy tickets and come watch this fight on December 3rd?
I'm like, yo, when's the next time they're gonna get this quality of match for $55? All you gotta pay is $55 to get in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, bro, it's like watching John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson 1 for $55. Or what, $10 for the live stream? Come on, dog. That is cheap. That's a fucking steal.
I agree. That's cheaper than McDonald's, man. That's cheaper than McDonald's.
Hey, yo, man, a fucking Starbucks drink is like $13 or some shit.
It's true, man.
Pay for the live stream.
It's true. It's true. Well, David, man, I really appreciate your time, man. Before I let you go, anyone you want to shout out, anything you want to say, man, the floor is yours, man. Express yourself. Let them know.
I mean, you already know. A big shout out to XFit Combat Sports. I'm right here right now. Boom, right there. Big shout out to the Classic Fight Team. That's where I do my striking. My Muay Thai striking, I should say. And a big shout out to Raw Talent Boxing, where I've been doing my boxing. Boo, 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 boo. And a big shout out to all my sponsors. I fuck with y'all. I fucking love you guys. Yeah. And a big shout out to you, actually. Big shout out to you, George. I fucking appreciate you. All this shit you do for us, man. It's not going unnoticed. It's not going unnoticed, sir.
Thank you, man. We help each other out, man. This is, I'm transparent with you. I always tell you, I've always told you it the way I see it, right? The way I feel.
Yes,
I do this because it's a business. Obviously, I want to build the business and make money, but I do this because I really care about it. I want to see you guys succeed. I know if I can get you guys. I know if I can get you guys up there, make you guys stars, get you guys paid, then I'll be in a good position as well. So when you thank me, I appreciate it. But without, obviously without the fighters, you guys are the talent. I'm just a goofball with a funny hat, putting this whole thing together. And
speaking of that hat, hey George, you need to send me one, man. You need to send me one.
For sure. We'll get you one at the show. How's that sound?
Hey.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is David Rivera. Again, be sure to get your tickets to Fighters Rep 16 at the beautiful Commerce Casino in Los Angeles. It's going to be absolutely lit to hell. We're going to bring some live entertainment for you as well during the intermission. It's going to be something different this time for them, David. They're not ready for it. You're going to see almost 18 or so fights at this event. So you're going to get every single penny's worth of your money. And you're going to see the best young fighters on the planet. Guys training with top-level talent in the UFC and ONE and Bellator and Karate Combat. Guys just like David Rivera, guys like Michael Claycomb. You're crazy if you miss this. It's just $55 for a general admission seat. The best seats in the house are still cheap, David. They can get a front row seat, and there's only a couple left. They can get a front row seat in the I call it the blood section, with the blood and the sweat and the tears section for just $100, man. It's crazy. So definitely go out there, get your ticket, put David Rivera at checkout, and we're gonna see everybody there on December 3rd, David. It's gonna be crazy, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you know what? We can't pass over you saying lit. That was hilarious.
Wow.
That was hilarious.
Am
I've never heard you say that word. Oh
am
my
I not
God.
allowed to say lit? Am I not
You can
allowed
say
to
it.
say lit?
You can say it. It sounded like I don't know, like a nice person trying to cuss. It sounded very awkward. Like they're like, lit.
Oh my goodness. I must be getting
Whew.
old,
It was
man. I must
absolute
be getting
carnage.
old.
It's going to be absolute carnage.
It is. It is. It is. And I'm gonna leave you all with this little nugget for you guys to think about. And David, this is for you too, right?
Yes, sir.
I mentioned I want to get you guys more experience because I don't think, and I'm a mover and a shaker, man. I'm kind of the reason the fights are we're not doing the headgear bullshit. It didn't change. I hate to take all the credit for it, but I definitely got to take a chunk of credit for it. I'm also probably the reason that we kept it at 18 fights
Nice.
instead of having even less. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, too many fights is no good," but we have a community of people that want to fight, and it's hard, when you can't do tournaments in this state and they're trying to limit you. That being said, there is the IKF West Coast Classic coming back. So shout out to Johnny Davis for making that happen. And I'm actually trying to convince him. I'm just going to leave this here. I'm trying to convince him to put together a kickboxing only tournament so I can get you guys multiple fights in a weekend. I don't want you guys to just have one fight every few months. I would like to, every once in a while, maybe between the events here and there, get you guys a tournament format where I can get you guys the experience you need to one day, when you do become pro, you guys are the best there was, the best there is, and the best there ever will be, like Bret Hart. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So,
sir.
so that's what I'm trying to do for you guys right now in the background. So I'm excited about that, and hopefully we can make that happen at some point.
Yeah,
And
that
that's
sounds
why,
nice.
I don't know if I want you to turn pro so soon, but you're definitely ready. You're definitely one of those guys that are ready. You're pretty seasoned at this point, so it's up to you.
FightersRep Grand Prix. That sounds nice.
It would be fun, it would be good for the community down here. Because David,
Okay.
you know how it is with all these PKBs. Everybody's getting PKB experience, but that's not full
Like,
contact experience.
yeah. Yo, like
It's not
to be
the same,
honest, you get more experience hard sparring here. You know, I'm not
right,
saying
right,
here, but like at your gym. I
right.
feel
Like
like.
yeah, like Lomachenko and Rigondeaux, they weren't taking pity pat amateur bouts. They were taking full on amateur boxing bouts, and they had
Yes,
three
sir.
or 400 of them, and that's why they were such great pros. So we want to
Mhm.
get our guys to that level. But anyway, knuckleheads, that's it. I talked too much, David. Thank you so much for your time, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you.
And good luck on December 3rd. May the best man win. And
Thank
I
you.
won't say lit anymore. I won't say lit anymore.
Change the word. Say something else. I don't know. It sounded very awkward. I don't know.
Sorry, sorry. All right,
Nah,
all
you're
right.
good.
You just lost your hat. I'll talk to you soon.
Ah!
Later.
Yes, sir. Later.